Isn't that cute? Isn't that so nice? And she's so offended by Donald Trump. Joining us now with reaction, Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark. What's your reaction to that, Sheriff? Both the president and Hillary with Jay-Z dropping the N-word and F-word.
Yeah, let me start with President Obama. I watched that rally live this afternoon. I thought it was very embarrassing for him that he had to tell people, about 19 times, hey, listen up, quiet, stop, sit down, and they just totally ignored him. Look, the Democrats are in panic mode right now. I said this months ago that they faced a black vote deficiency dilemma. Mrs. Bill Clinton, she was not going to get the turnout that Barack Obama got in 2008, and he increased that in 2012. I said that that could be the variable here that sinks her campaign. Look, Donald Trump is doing pretty good with the black vote. One of the polls I saw, he was getting 20%, which is more than any Republican has gotten in several decades. So they're in panic mode. Usually what the Democrats will do is they'll come out and tell blacks that if you vote for Republican, they'll take your benefits, your welfare away. They're not even going there. They're going straight to, the KKK, analogy that was used, that Donald Trump supports the KKK. He'll have the KKK over to the White House, when in fact, President Obama has had the black equivalent of the KKK, Black Lives Matter. He has hosted them at the White House numerous times.
So all of this race baiting, because that's what it is, because Donald Trump doesn't support the KKK, and everybody knows it. But I think you're right. I think it shows desperation, and all early voting indicators show that Hillary Clinton is not getting anywhere near the women vote that they need to win, or the black vote that they need to win, or the youth vote. By the way, if you were Bernie Sanders supporters and now you know that Hillary conspired with the DNC, cheated on debates, I don't think I'd be so inclined to support the nominee if I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter.
No, there's no momentum. There's no energy. Look, I've been all across this country on behalf of Donald Trump, and the Donald Trump supporters are energized. They're motivated. They cannot wait. Those that have participated in early voting, which is why you see many people on the right, the GOP, Republicans, people identify as Republicans, conservatives, taking advantage of early voting, highly energized, and it's going to be a big turnout on November 8th as well. But one of the reasons why these demographics that they're going after, Mrs. Bill Clinton going after the women vote, going after minority, why she's not doing well, because she's not a likable person and she's not emotionally connected. Look, if Donald Trump gets elected president of the United States, his appeal to the black community is going to mean, to me anyway, it's going to mean that he's going to be the best thing that has happened to the black community since Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah. Let me ask, when they play the race card as they do, and then Hillary jumps, she calls a former Klansman her mentor. Bill Clinton's mentor was J. William Fulbright, a known segregationist. The Democratic Party, people like Al Gore's father, Robert Byrd, Hillary's mentor, they weren't there for the Civil Rights Act. They weren't there for the Voting Rights Act. They were filibustering. And then they claim this mantle that they are helping the black community. Since Obama's been president, we doubled the debt, 58% increase, black Americans on food stamps, 20% increase, black Americans out of the labor force. I'll put up the home ownership rate for black Americans. It's higher than it's ever been, meaning the lack of home ownership. I'm just thinking, what hypocrisy. Why do they still get the majority of votes when I would argue they're not better off under these Democratic policies? And as Donald Trump said, every 4 years they come knocking on the door, asking, demanding votes. What have they gotten for it? Their educational system, violence in inner cities. It's the worst in the country. But the vote for the Democrats still goes on. Why?
Well, because black people have been separated from their history. They've been hoodwinked by the Democrats. Look, it was the Democrats that tried to uphold the institution of slavery, and it took a Republican president, Lincoln, to come along and end that ugly institution. And as you indicated, it was the Democrats that stood in the way of the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act as well. And it took Lyndon Johnson had to go out and get Republican members of Congress in order to get that stuff passed. But look, I'm telling you right now, Sean, black people are beginning to open their eyes. That's why I was so ecstatic when Donald Trump reached out. And he didn't just say it once. And he didn't just say, hey, you're being exploited, your vote's being taken advantage of. He told them what was possible for them and what should be done for them in their community. Better schools, safer communities, and more jobs. And that's what's appealing to blacks. And that's why I don't think this playing this race politics that Obama and the Democrats are engaged in, I really don't think it's going to help the turnout this year.
A new deal for black Americans. I think that's a great idea. Well needed.
We've got to
fix the nearly 4,000 people dead in Chicago since Obama's been president, shot, majority African American. 3,000 people shot this year alone, almost the majority of African American. It's disgraceful. What has the president done to stop it? Nothing. All right, Sheriff, we love you. Good to see you. And we're only almost 3 days away. An hour and a half. We'll be 3 days away from Election Day. And coming up.